Right. First and foremost, I'm going to say all praises be to Yahweh, Bashima, Shai, Bashima, Kakudash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone, and shalom to the sincere elect out there teaching his truth and faith and sincerity through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashima, Shai. I just saw this article online, and basically, this article here is basically going to describe how much debt the United States of America is in, and basically saying that its eventual end is a Venezuela-style economic crash, right? Which will be a heavy system of hyperinflation, man. So, without further ado, I'm gonna get into the scriptures. It says, how much interest does the United States pay on its massive debt pile? RT's Kaiser report explains. Despite the 30-year decline in interest rates, the United States debt has been climbing almost exponentially, faster with the latest budget deficit swelling by nearly $1 trillion. Max and Stacy took the ever-rising amount of interest that the U.S. is paying on its debt. Basically, let me read that again. Max and Stacy look at the ever-rising amount of interest that the U.S. is paying on its huge debt. America is like a guy who won a lottery and blows it. After World War II, we ruled the world. We had the soundest currency, low interest rates. We were American century ready to go. Here in 2018, having kind of blown it, we have too much debt. Over 21 trillion, and the interest on that debt is now 500 billion annually. So it's like they're already in debt, right? Of over 21 trillion, right? And every year they actually don't even pay off the debt. They just pay off the interest on the actual debt. Now, what is America gonna do when the dollar is literally devalued completely? It just means the whole system is just gonna come to a complete crash, a complete halt, right? And the interest of that debt now is 500 billion annually, which is more than the annual budget deficit. Max explains when the interest on the debt gets to a point where the money printing Ponzi scheme, that is the Federal Reserve Bank, fails, the country enters a hyperinflationary Venezuelan type currency collapse. Of course, the American ego, pride, will tell you that it's impossible here in the land of the free and home of the brave. But empires come and go, he says, right? And this empire that has come and will go is Rome, which is coming back, which has come back, man. Right? Now, it's like, if you go online and research the Weimar Republic, or you could go even observe what is happening in Venezuela as we speak. They are currently experiencing, hyperinflation, man, right? And like you have people trying to buy expired food that's increasing in value. The actual off cuts of meat that people don't want, cartilage and pieces of bone is increasing in value. People in fact got to the stage of hunting cats and dogs, last year or the year before, I actually saw a clip of a prison man in a Venezuela, which was a guy eating another man's ear. You know. Now, if you go back to the Weimar Republic, it got so crazy with the hyperinflation that before a person would actually go and eat in a restaurant, he would have to shake hands with the owner of the store to basically agree a price of what he would pay, because the guy might start eating his food and the inflation rate will just increase, man. So it got so hectic that it came to a stage that the guy would actually have to agree a price before they go in the store, where you need a will barrels worth of money to just go and buy bread, and that still might not even be enough, right? So that right there, this article is basically saying that where life is coming to America, man. So with that, I'm gonna go into the scriptures, man. This is Jeremiah 51:9. It says I'm gonna start from 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she's not healed. For forsake her, let us go everyone to his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up unto the skies. Now, America's eventual end is to be destroyed in this war that's going to happen. However, prior to the destruction in terms of this war coming to pass, they're essentially already destroyed, right? Because first of all, this blood is full of the blood of the 12 tribes of Israel, and they will have to account for that blood, right? This place is spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah, so it means spiritually they're corrupt, and we'll have to account for that too, right? Their economy's through, they're on a crash course path to hyperinflation. These people are bugged out, so it's like the fucking infrastructure is through, is finished, like so it's like spiritually it's like they're it's like they're already destroyed, man. The icing on the cake will be when the country is just destroyed in this war, man. So when the scripture is saying we would have healed her, but she is not healed, it's basically saying, look, there ain't no chance, all right, of turning away this destruction from America, man. It's impossible, because one, it's in the Lord's purpose for them to be judged, and two, they reached a point of no return. Its eventual end is destruction, and it can't be helped, right? Because it's needed, man, right? And the economy coming to a crash is one aspect of it, man, right? Because over the past couple of years, even here in England, you actually seen more stores coming to a close, and more stores on like a 50% off kind of sale. Now, if a store's on sale all the time, guess what? Although things might seem great and cheap, someone down the line somewhere has lost a job, man, to account for that. You know, now even over here, man, in England, just this past couple months, you had a Pound World got closed down and shut down. A couple of years ago, you had a BHS got closed down, and then even a couple of years even before that, you had a Woolworths closed down. Even over now, this past couple of months, I actually saw an article that was basically saying the House of Fraser, man, is basically having like really big issues, man. And I believe it had to be taken under the ownership of a different company, man. So these stores are coming to an end, man. Even HTC is through, right? And when America's economy comes to a crash, isn't just gonna affect America, right? It's gonna affect this whole earth, man. This is Ecclesiastes 12:3. In a day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. Now the grinders applies unto what? Those people who have work, man. But the scripture says time gonna come when they actually gonna cease because they're few, right? And those that look out the windows be darkened, man. You know, these are forecasters, man. Actual time gonna come where they ain't gonna have any good thing to say because this whole economy will just come to a complete crash. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the grinding when the sound of grinding is low, and he shall raise up the voice of the bird, and all the doors and music shall be brought low. Now, doors are being shut in the streets, man, as we speak, man. You know, see every other day you have companies closing stores down and jobs being lost. But guess what? Time gonna come when this economy comes to a quick crash, where nobody's gonna have a job, man. You know, because the economy would have come to a complete end, like a complete end and crash, a big crash. Now, when that comes to pass, all right. When that comes to pass, right, the supply and availability, right, of food will be scarce, man. Right, the actual supply and availability of food will be scarce, man. Which means what? Famine is coming back, man. Right? This is 2nd Ezra 6:22. Right? And suddenly, right, shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall be found empty. Right? And like now over here in in England, even over there in the States, so-called first world countries, you know, people are in complete pride and abundance. People have access to anything they actually want. But a time gonna come where food, right, they ain't gonna have any access onto that, man. Right? Now, they say you can go a week without water, but they also say you can go up to like 2 or 3 months without any food, man. So like a very good portion of people are gonna actually starve upon this earth, man. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which every man heareth, and they shall suddenly be afraid. At that time shall friends fight one another like enemies, and the earth shall stand with fear, and those that dwell therein, the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. But it's saying that at that time shall friends fight. Now, why in that time when the full storehouses are found empty, why are friends gonna fight? Because food is gonna be scarce, right? This is Second Ezra 15 and 18 on down. For because of their pride the city shall be troubled, their houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Now, in this time, right now, this current present day, you know, in a so-called first world countries, people eat and people have abundance, right? But when this global economic system comes to a crash, when a hyper inflation comes back, you know what? You know, people are gonna be fighting, fighting each other to get food. That's what you saw in that film called the Road, man. The Road, where like people were on a constant pursuit of food to the point of cannibalism, man. Right? So that just shows that this thing isn't a joke, man. Right? And we as the Lord's hopeful elect men hope to be taken care of in that time. This is Second Ezra 16 and 21. Behold, victuals shall be good sheep upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Now, victuals applies unto what? Unto food, man. Now, as we can see on this present day, in comparison to a time of hyperinflation, right? Food is cheap. People have access to it, and it's currently abundant. I've worked for companies whereby they've had so much food that they've just gone and thrown it away in the bin. Freshly cooked food, they just throw in the bin because they ain't got space for it because it's just too much. But guess what? A time gonna come where people are going to be scavenging food bins just to find food, man. And that bit they find in that bin, someone's gonna kill them, eat that piece of food, and then eat them. So that's what's coming, man. Right? Behold, victory shall be so good cheap on the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. So that's what's happening now, because everyone's in comfort. Everyone's in a comfort zone. Even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. Right? And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And going back to what I was saying, they say it takes about a couple of months for you to, die without any food. So it's like, that's how obviously I ain't got like a time scale of time of trouble, but it's like the scripture's saying that as a few people, well, not a few, that a fair amount of people are gonna experience death through famine, man. And that's all gonna be linked to this economic crash, because when this economy comes to a crash, you're gonna have race wars taking place, martial law. Yeah, in this time that's about to come upon earth, you might think, oh, you know what, yeah, the economy's come to crash, so let me go to a shop and see if I can get water. You might go to a shop and see military troops with big guns standing in front of a Tesco, man, rationing out things, and a time gonna come where it just come to an end. You know, you even saw that in I believe it's in World War Z, right? The young guy was trying to shop the food, right? And he saw a police officer trying to sprint at him. Now, he thought the officer was actually gonna come and stop him. Guess what he did? The officer pushed past him to try and get food, man. So that's how crazy these times are gonna be, right? And when that, especially over here, boy, because think about it, Venezuela is a place where people can grow fruit, grow fruit and veggies and stuff like that. And if even over there, people are fighting over food, people are eating cats and dogs, people are eating off each other's fucking ears, yeah. How much more in a city like London, or how much more in the states, which over there in the states, the, they are the biggest consumers on the earth, man. Right? Which the actual way that they bring in those stuff is through trade. So what's gonna happen when the economy is totally fucked up, where things can't be imported anymore? People are gonna fight over what's left, right? And it's like, it's in the scriptures, man. This is James 5. Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl, for your misery shall come upon you. That's them guys on like Wall Street, these stock brokers, so on and so forth. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered. Right? Now if you go into the word cankered, it means to rust, to corrode, to rust, to cover with rust. Now, when iron starts to rust, it can't be stopped. It'll carry on in rust until it's consumed, man. Right? So basically, it's like your economy is gonna get to a stage of no return, man, where it can't be turned around, it can't be healed, it's through. Yeah, and your rust and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, because guess what? Just how this economy will fall and never rise again. America as an empire, Esau's empire, right, is gonna fall and not rise up again, man. Right? And you shall eat the flesh as it were fire. You have heaped the treasure together for the last days, because at the end of the day, when the kingdom of the 12 tribes of Israel gets established, right, the kingdom is going to be translated back into us, because real wealth is cattle, silver, and gold, man. And the gold that Esau's stolen from around the earth. When we're established in our kingdom, we just gonna have it again, transferred right onto us again, man. But the point of this video was speaking on on that actual on to that article, man, where it was speaking about basically how America's on a path to hyperinflation, right? Because in that time, that is gonna be a heavy time, but that's why we as the Lord's hopeful elect have to hope and pray that the Lord takes care of us in that time, right? Because He is our help and our shield, man. So with that, I'm going to say all praise be to our boy Shimon Shai, double honors, apostles, and elders of the GreatMillStone. With that, I'm going to say shalom.